I made enormous cosplay claws for a famous VTuber at the biggest anime con in North America. But are they portable, durable, and light enough to actually wear at a convention? Or will they hold up like some other cosplays I've made?
Yeah, so everything that could have broken, got broken.
And how long will it take for me to actually realize what I've signed up for?
Oh my god. Well, let's start with how this all happened in the first place. Because this story begins with this image of a VTuber known as Matara-Con wearing the claws made by one of her fans. And for reference, this is what her original model looks like. Now, it turns out my agent is a bit of a fan of hers, so he reached out to both me and her, proposing that I make my own version of claws for her. And so I figured, why not? Seemed like a bit of a challenge and something different than what I normally work on. But a couple of problems. First, I know next to nothing about VTubers.
My favorite Pokemon's Magmar.
Nice!
Yeah, he's kind of ugly. I like him a little ugly.
You love your ugly little men.
I should be in love with you.
Damn.
And second, the last time I made a cosplay,
They were just rough with my luggage, man. This monitor is unsalvageable.
So let's do it right this time.
And it's all gonna start with some research so I know what I'm getting myself into. Okay.
Now, when it comes to 3D printing and cosplay, there's quite a few challenges you have to solve for. And while I've already done a full panel about this at MAGfest earlier this year, here's the basic concerns. First, and most importantly, is durability. Not only does a 3D printed cosplay have to survive walking around a crowded convention, it also has to survive travel, which viewers of this channel are pretty aware of at this point. Next is portability, which means I need to find a way to make these enormous claws easily assembled and disassembled. And finally, there's weight. And a big issue with 3D printed things is how heavy they can be, like these big swords that my friend Super Lewis 64 makes.
I did it. Yeah, I don't think you can play Barrett with. Oh my god, I don't think I can play Barrett with this controller.
And apparently the fan-made claw that Matara tried on earlier weren't exactly light. And the final issue is that this cosplay isn't for me. So I'm gonna have to guesstimate some sizes here, and it's also gonna have to be quality, because the only other time I've sold something of this size was the Kirby wheelie scooter to Failboat. And that just sits in the corner of his room right now.
Is that custom made? That's so f***ing sick.
Aw, thanks Connor.
On top of that, Matara wanted these ready for Anime Expo, the biggest anime con in all of North America. And she wanted me there to oversee the debut of her cosplay as well. Now, this isn't intimidating just because I have a track record of my projects going wrong once they're in public. But I also think I'll be chump-checked on anime culture. Like, for too long, I thought Avatar was an anime, or that every Vocaloid was Hatsune Miku, because clearly that's Kagamine Rin. And most recently, I learned that sleeping on my mattress on the ground doesn't make it tatami style, which made me feel cringe and not sugoi. But thankfully, I still found a way to sleep on a mattress in a Japanese style, thanks to today's sponsor, FlexiSpot, and their Kana Retro Japanese Joinery Bed. You probably know FlexiSpot from their ergonomic and space-saving desks, but they've also now applied their functional and sturdy design to their joinery bed line. And constructing this bed was super simple. I didn't need any tools, and I was done lickety-split.
And taking inspiration from Japanese joinery known as sugite, all of the wooden parts are cut precisely so they slide into place without needing any screws. And that means all of the joints for these wooden parts are going to stay sturdy with time without any loosening. Which means no matter how much I try to shift everything, everything's going to be always locked into place. Very sugoi. And the headboard not only looks nice with its premium material and finish, but I can also snatch some snacks back here if I want to. Ikidekimasu. And with 10 inches of space underneath, that means I can store the things that are most important to me. Like this newspaper I got the day after Shohei Ohtani won the World Baseball Classic. Oh, Ohtani. And my room may be small, but the design of this bed just seems to bring everything together. A bit of wabi-sabi, if you will. So, click my link below to experience the FlexiSpot Japanese joinery for yourself. And use my code BigRig for instant savings. And upgrade your bed to something premium that provides practical value. And speaking about constructing things, let's get back to making those claws.
So for the material, I finally settled on TPU. It's a flexible material that should survive impacts and prevent itself from being chipped, and is a bit lighter than, say, PLA. The main issues though is you can't really sand it, and it's not exactly the easiest to paint. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And so after Matara's team sent over the claw model, I got to work upping the resolution just enough to not crash my PC on the second try, and then I went to Mesh Mixer to thicken and smooth things out so they'd actually print. Now, to make this actually portable, I designed this magnet plus peg system, and from my initial tests, this felt pretty strong, but we'll get to the limits of this later. And after slicing and dicing for hours in Bamboo Studio, I had everything ready for printing. And over the course of a month, I was printing, testing, reprinting, adding more magnet holes, yada yada yada, until I finally got some sturdy claws that could hold together. And yes, it took a lot of reprints. Now for painting with TPU, I found this special fabric spray paint, and I started with a base coat of white to clean up any imperfections and magnets that were protruding, and I had just enough pink paint for all of the tips. And I thought it turned out pretty nicely. Now for the strapping system, I thought of something that would be more like a harness, but when I searched for pink harnesses, things popped up that weren't exactly the most PG. So I just bought some backpack straps, and when I finally opened them up, I realized they were too small. And the backup straps I bought were too small. And it's 2 AM right now, and my plane to LA leaves in 4 hours. So I scrambled to make this abomination with my backup straps, and quickly packed everything up. And everything fit inside, so at least we have portability checked off for this project. But now it was time to get to the airport.
You know, with these trips for the channel, sometimes I'm escaping extreme cold, but today I'm going to LA to escape the heat somehow? Make that make sense.
And as I waved bye to my check bag, I could only pray that things would go better than last time. Thankfully, at my Minneapolis layover, I met some new friends who were also headed to the convention, and when we landed at the hellhole known as LAX, we were all going in the same direction. But when waiting for our bus, I discovered a huge hole in my luggage. So at that point, the only thing I could think about was whether the cosplay made it unscathed. And I wouldn't have any time to look because I was going directly from the Union Station to where Matara was staying. And when I arrived, I checked out the goods.
Well, nothing's broken. The paint got a little scuffed here and there, but for the most part, I think from 2 feet away, everything's gonna look perfect. So let's get you strapped up.
So this was the moment of truth. And it's also the first time Matara-Con has seen these claws at all. And I'm pretty sure you can tell by how sweaty I am, but I was really nervous.
I almost had a heart attack. We're good.
Because if any piece just falls off on its own, it's kind of game over. There's nothing I can really do at that point. But thankfully, all the parts stood in place, my temporary straps technically held, and we didn't exactly have a mirror to stand in front of, and so when my friends Mr. Volt and Cat's Crate showed up, we just used the reflection of his car.
Oh my god, wait, hold on, I have to hold up. Oh my god, they look really good. They look so good, they're so wide. Oh my god. They look really, really good. It is gonna be hard to walk around with them. I see what you mean. Oh my god. But they are very light. This looks great. Hold on, let me walk up and down. And then tomorrow they're gonna be how do they look from the back? They look awesome, and they're really not heavy. Like I said, the previous ones I had were really, really, really heavy. I definitely want some pictures in them.
And so after Matara had her picture taken and posted to social media, this is when I started to realize this is kind of a big deal. So the next morning at Mr. Volt's place...
So based on the straps I got, are we gonna make it work?
I think we can make it work.
The three of us rigged up a new strap system that seemed to work out pretty well.
Alright, so is this the most comfortable thing? No. Is it wearable? Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely pulling into the armpits a little bit. But I feel like it's I still have pretty full range of movement, I would say.
Yeah, if you did a quick pivot turn, will anything fall off?
Alright, you ready?
Yep. Yep, that was the thing I'm most worried about.
So, let's just not have that happen.
Now, later that day, I finally had my first taste of Anime Expo. Let's just say I was not ready for the sheer scale and multitude of people that would be here. Some of the crowds got so bad that articles were written about how dangerous it was and how the fire marshal was called.
I mean, not really. The fire marshal just cleared out the area for a little bit from time to time. Not that big of a deal, but gotta sensationalize the story somehow, right?
So thankfully, Matara wanted to wait till day 2 before actually trying on the claws. But it turns out she actually had a concert that night with the rest of her VTuber squad, and she invited me to the upper balcony to watch. I'll be honest, I didn't know exactly what to expect, but the energy was good, the people I met were cool, and as it turns out, Matara has some pipes. But looking across the sea of the crowd, so enthusiastically dancing along with their light sticks, I started to realize that this was a big deal. And the next day was the big day. But thankfully in the morning, I had a little bit of extra time for a side quest because I wanted to put the world's smartest Pokedex to the test and see if it could actually identify cosplayers.
Oh, that is so good! I'm intrigued.
Yeah!
Those shorts should be coming out pretty soon. But afterwards, I arrived for Matara's meet and greet, and the line just to meet her was long. And that's when it really set in that she was a big deal. So the pressure was on, but thankfully, with the help of the rest of her crew, we got her all suited up and ready to meet and greet. And initially, everything seemed to hold perfectly fine, and the straps definitely were working a lot better. Now, I didn't really get to babysit the claws because I was actually put on line duty, since there were too many people who wanted to meet her and we had to cut off the line. But by the end of the meet and greet, I learned that there were 2 issues. First, some magnets fell out, and I didn't tell you earlier, but the middle strap I actually lost the other day, and it definitely could have been used for extra support. So the next day, with the help of my agent Brendan, glued the magnets back into place, and tried to remember how the chest strap worked, and I technically sort of got it.
That's a lie. I completely blundered this.
And even with the strap fiasco, the second meet and greet seemed to go pretty well, and the final shoot at Moist Critical's Cheeky booth also seemed to be quite the hit. So after all of that, my job was finally done. And sure, there was definitely room for improvement, but as a version 1, I thought it went pretty well. But I wanted to get a second opinion from another master cosplayer. This is Sam Meeps, and she's created some really impressive cosplays over the years, and for Anime Expo, she made this Gachiakata cosplay with these incredibly large scissors. So if there was someone to talk about ginormous cosplay props with, it would be her. And maybe discuss how I could make things better next time.
So how were you able to make something that was so light but also portable?
So all of this is made of EVA foam. The inside's actually hollow so that I can fit a PVC tube inside. That's what gives it this kind of structure, but it's pretty much all foam.
Are you worried about it like getting damaged at all by being knocked up or dinged when you bump into things?
Honestly, that's why I like using EVA foam, because it's a little less fragile than printing, like 3D printing with plastic. Like I can actually just like kind of bang this around and it can survive. The tip can get kind of damaged, but I don't know if you can see, I have some little toothpicks stuck into the tips here. And that helps it like have something to rest on when you put it on the ground. So it helps the tip from not getting squished. Yeah, I learned my lesson.
Well, what about people like me who are untalented at folding and crafting with foam?
It's not true. Have you tried?
Never.
Okay, well, first of all, you should try, but I mean, there's all sorts of different kinds of 3D printing now too, right? There's a new kind of filament I really want to try that's like a foam filament. I really want to try that. I think it'd be great for cosplay. Like it's light, it's flexible, but you can still print with it and get all that detail with the printer, so technology. Oh my God, it's huge.
The weight wasn't too bad, but Allie did tell me about that 3D printable foam. So maybe that's something that both of us could look into in the
Yeah,
future.
we should look into it together, maybe.
Tell you what, if you start experimenting with it, we'll trade notes.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds so good.
I think what I'm learning from the end of this is maybe the best thing is some sort of mixture of some parts being TPU and maybe some parts being this new foaming stuff, or EVA if I actually had skills.
Yeah.
So I guess if there's anything I've learned from all this, it's 1, I need to get good at straps, and 2, if I ever make a version 2 of this, I would absolutely use some foaming TPU. So Matara-kun, if you're ever looking for a version 2, let me know. Oh. That's 5 times the cost of TPU. On second thought, maybe check your bank account first. Extra special thanks to the executive level patrons: Snowblows, Don Necco, X9 5 times, Grandma Watson, Connor Rhodes, Zebermang, Sally and Dave, Pow Pow, Marco Carini, Evan Timmerman, Harley Jean, and Jameson Zabayos.